And hello again to our viewers joining us from around the world for the 2024 edition here of the Trinidad and Tobago Energy Conference. We're coming to you live from the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Shelly Dass, and I'll be taking you through the events at this exciting gathering here in Port of Spain. Earlier today, we had the highly anticipated business breakfast where there was a special launch of a wonderful project about women in the energy sector. We also had earlier today the annual Energy Awards. And yesterday we heard from the Secretary General of the Gas Exporting Countries Forum, Mohammed Hamel, His Excellency. We also heard from Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, Stuart Young. It's been nothing short of high impact content so far. Well, one of the companies exhibiting is NAGS Developers. They are one of the 83 companies exhibiting in the exhibition hall upstairs here at the Hyatt. Marcus Nags is also not just in the business of producing everything from and handling everything from construction management, contract management, procurement management, and so on. But he also produces the Energy Guide. Marcus, tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are on where we are in the industry and the sector at the moment. It's been quite a year last year, and in the last year, a lot of progress, a lot of developments, exciting things happening in the energy sector. Tell us from the construction point of view and from the Energy Guide point of view of what your thoughts are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, morning, Shelley. Thanks a lot for having me here. So the Energy Guide for your viewers is a publication. This is our 22nd edition. So it's really been around for a long time, since, as I said, 22 years. And as a result, and that was born out of the need for vendors and as part of the supply chain. So vendors to be able to contact people within the procurement companies directly, so that from the operators such as Shell and BP can contact the local companies and make sure that they get the right person at the right time. Because it is a 24/7, 365 industry. It's like, it's almost like a farm. It's an animal that needs to be fed and watered daily. It cannot be left unattended. So as a result, that was born out of a contract I was doing with EOG, and it has grown to where it is. So we've actually been exhibiting at the conference every year since then.
You've seen a lot of change, and you've seen an
absolutely,
exciting last
yes.
year.
And
What are your
exciting
thoughts?
last year. I mean, I was talking to Dax yesterday about it. They had, when it was the South Chamber, it was the South Trinidad Chamber of Industry and Commerce. The first trade show was at Paria Suites. This is back in 2003 or 2004.
Yes.
And it has just grown leaps and bounds since then. The energy on the floor yesterday was palpable. It was great. And you can tell that, the first conference coming out of COVID, which was in June the year before, and then last year it was the first full back to its January time slot. And it's been a joy to see. And then within the talks between yesterday and a couple this morning, the energy as it is within what is going to take place in Trinidad and Tobago is very exciting.
Now, you also are in the construction sector.
Correct.
As we've discussed before with other exhibitors and so on, who are not directly in the energy services sector. As we said, a rising tide lifts all ships. You do well in the energy because we are an oil and gas economy.
Correct.
Gas economy primarily. And we also do have representatives of the National Gas Company and National Energy coming up in just a few minutes. But we are this type of economy. In the construction sector, what are you looking forward to seeing as we continue to make progress in the energy industry?
Well, it comes down to confidence in the overall economy. And by the buoyancy of the energy sector, it just lays out into everything, whether it's residential, whether it's more businesses renting more office space, commercial space, warehouses, lay down areas. Something as simple as a pipe yard. I know BP are going to enter a new project. They've just awarded some new contracts down in La Brea and in Galeota. And that requires a lot of land, and it all trickles down. And it's good to see that it's no longer more in the Chaguaramas Basin for the shore bases. It's good to see Labidco. I was talking to Dr. Paltu earlier. They NEC want to push Labidco and bring it forward to, it can offer more than it does currently. And I really think I'm excited about that. And also with Guyana as well, there is the ability that the service companies are still providing a lot of services down there. Whether it is, we also do agency logistics for vessels. So they still come and they need grades and maintenance from Trinidad. So it's very symbiotic between Guyana and Trinidad that that relationship continues so that the vessels, because from a nautical mile standpoint, it's still very close. It's only 11 hours. And because of the depth of ports currently in Guyana, it is an easier trip to here to get their supplies and also to do maintenance upgrades.
It sounds like you are seeing a lot of opportunity, not just for yourself, but across the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will. And getting back to your point about in the construction industry, it goes into the housing, goes into, people wondering whether or not to invest in land, to invest in a house. If they know that they're going to be secure in their employment for the next 10, 15 years, then yes, they will make that investment now, maybe change from renting to owning, and all of that. And the banks feed into it. And it's the scalability. If more and more people are doing something, the cost's actually lower rather than sometimes in a stagnant economy, people will see an opportunity and try and maximize their profit from that one deal. But if they know that there are 5 deals going to be in the next 2 years, then they can afford to maybe lower their profit margin in order to sustainability.
So tell me this, where do you see your company, yourself, in 10 years from now? What would you like to see? If we had a blank slate, if everything goes according to plan, what would be your ideal picture of 10 years from now?
Well, my ideal picture is really from a national perspective for us to become more of a hub, an even greater hub than we are right now. And when I mean that, from whether it's been a transshipment hub, whether it is that we have the ability for vessels to come here and have incentives to come here to do their work. Maybe we have more of a deep water port, such as Libidco. Libidco have a nice deep water port, but it's not the easiest place to do business at the moment. So if some of those areas can be easier to do business, it will help everyone.
And what would make, not just Libidco, but what would make it easier to do business for you? Where, in other words, where are the challenges that you see and how do you think they can be addressed?
Well, there's always going to be challenges with the bureaucracy, particularly when it comes into, say, customs and those types of things, which are imports and exports. And that has to be in place. I am certainly not suggesting that that needs to be lowered, but I would say more of a digitization of some of those processes would certainly help the efficiency of it, so that it is not a duplicate letter stamped by a physical person, that type of thing, which is still the case in some areas.
Yes.
I think we've already had this momentum shift to digitization. COVID probably accelerated that a little bit. And I think once we can keep on that path, it would be nice to see.
I want to thank you very much. That's Marcus Nags from Nags Developers. They've been producing the Energy Guide for the last few years. They've also been exhibiting here at the Energy Conference, very well-known company with a long-standing roots here in Trinidad and Tobago. Stay with us. We'll be right back. More interviews coming up next, including the chairman of the National Gas Company, the president of National Energy, and much more. Stay with us.